Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The World Cup qualifiers are approaching very soon. I already recorded a Matchday 9 and 10 prediction with Yugoslavia. If you haven't checked that out already, go do it now. I'm leaving a link to both those videos in the description below. But today, I decided to do a preview for a very highly anticipated match that's going to mean a lot to both of these teams. Italy versus Switzerland. This match means everything for both these sides. They're battling for first and second, and nothing separates them right now. They both have the same amount of points shared, 14 each. Can one of them finally break this point gap? They play each other this Friday on the 12th of November. A win here means everything for these sides, and neither of them will be satisfied with the draw. Because not only do they share the same amount of points, they also have a very tight goal differential gap. Italy just ahead of Switzerland with 11, while Switzerland have 9. So the Swiss are only 2 behind. And in Matchday 10, where they're respectively the favorites for that match and both are expected to win, Switzerland could potentially get more goals than Italy. And if they draw, that will make all the difference, and Switzerland will qualify for the World Cup just like that. So a lot is at stake here for both of these sides. Today I figured to do a preview for this match in order to thoroughly analyze the squads, give some more insight on their history, and maybe do a more thorough prediction. If this video does well, I hope to do some more Matchday previews, so please, leave an early like, subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned for the rest. But yeah, let's just get into it. Some people might be underlooking this match as Switzerland aren't considered a big side such as Spain, Belgium, England, France, but we have seen this summer that doesn't matter. Look, Switzerland put incredible fights in the Euros. They were in the same group as Italy, but that was their only major defeat. Yes, they lost 3-0 in the Euros on match day 2, but from there, they excelled. In the knockouts, they had to play France in the round of 16s, and absolutely no one had hope for them because France were one of the biggest favorites in the tournament, and they ended up getting an amazing comeback against them, finishing at 3-3 and winning on penalties. That was the biggest shock in the entire tournament. Then they were put to the test again against Spain, and after defeating France, people knew not to mess with Switzerland anymore. That match went to penalties as well, where Switzerland put a great fight, and they just happened to lose. It would have been incredible to see them win 2 penalty shootouts against 2 top teams in that competition. But now that the Euros are over, I don't think this side is going to want to quit. Their belief is stronger than ever now. With how well they're doing right now and how close they are to Italy to grab that first place spot, who knows how this match is going to go. Yes, like I said, they lost to Italy in Euro 2020 3-0, but Italia were looking at top form in that group stage. Yes, they're still in some decent form now, but they didn't make it to the Nations League final. They finished 3rd. I know, under their circumstances, after winning the entire Euro 2020 tournament, that wasn't good enough for them. Yes, they won Euro 2020, obviously. Italia has risen from the ashes, okay? For many years, they were a top side. In the 2014 World Cup, they didn't do so well. In 2018, they just missed out on qualifying, just getting knocked out by Sweden in the playoffs. And now, in 2022, they could potentially just miss it to Switzerland. Can history repeat itself and they get, I don't know, another underdog like Sweden in the playoffs? It could all happen again, to be honest. It's very doubtful at this point, but it might. Whichever one of these 2 teams gets second place and has to go into those playoffs, it's going to be a nightmare for the opposition. Italy are looking way more organized than they were in 2018. Switzerland looking like one of the most dangerous underdogs in Europe. Both have slipped in their own respected moments. Italy drew to Bulgaria 2 months ago. Switzerland drew to Northern Ireland 2 months ago. And yeah, even after Matchday 9 is over, when both of these teams play, Italia is going to have to face Northern Ireland and Switzerland are going to have to face Bulgaria. And while they do look like the favorites and I think their determination will be high, a draw could happen again, or even a loss, who knows. Now, both sides have already announced the full squads they're going to be bringing in for the World Cup qualifiers in match days 9 and 10. Looking at Italia's first, the goalkeeper that they're probably going to be playing in this matchup is Donnarumma. They got a massive list for the defense. Acerbi, Bastoni, Biraghi, Bonucci, Calabria, Chiellini, Di Lorenzo, Emerson, and Mancini. Their midfield, the biggest loss that they'll be facing is Verratti being injured this international break. I think he's possibly their best midfielder that they have. They still have a lot of other solid options. I still think the likes of Barella, Jorginho, and Locatelli can do the job. Now for the attack, not many surprises there. Some big names. Insigne looking in great form, and he also turns up for the national team very often. Ciro Immobile. This guy does well in Serie A for Lazio. For the Italian team, though, he can be a bit underwhelming. Not in every match, but people do expect more from him. And Chiesa not at his absolute prime right now in the Serie A, but his contributions in the Euros is unforgettable, and he really got his name out there after that tournament. So expectations are very high for this attack force. And obviously the defense as well. They're aging a bit, but they did an incredible job this summer. It's only been a few months. I think their skill set will still be there. I'm curious to see how Italia starts up though against Switzerland. Will they bring on the veterans Bonucci and Chiellini, the brilliant partnership, or will they try to implement some more youngsters? There's pros to all of it, to be honest. But now, let's take a look at that Swiss squad. Now, a player that we just gotta praise right now is Sommer. If Switzerland beats Spain in the penalty shootout, this guy would have a lot more praise for him from that tournament. What an absolute incredible goalkeeper. However, Kobel, another player they called up, has been doing brilliantly for Borussia Dortmund. He has conceded a decent amount of goals, but when you watch how Dortmund play, he steps up a lot when the defense slacks. Sommer has still been starting for most of their matches, but we'll see if the Swiss coach decides to implement some kind of goalkeeper change. My prediction is no, and I think Sommer still deserves that spot, but Kobel is a decent option. And when you look at their defense, these are all defenders that are not talked about that much because they don't play for the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Liverpool, all the top teams. But a majority of these defenders are crucial parts to their respected clubs. Akanji for Dortmund, Alvedi for Borussia Mönchengladbach, Mbabu for Wolfsburg. These are all underrated sides that highly value their defenders. Now in terms of their midfield, they got a lot of their options there, but just like Italia, they're also missing one of their key players. Granit Xhaka has suffered an injury for Arsenal, but both these squads still have enough options to carry on. Now obviously Shaqiri is talked about a lot. However, two attackers I want to be talking about are Embolo and Gavranovic. Now Embolo really stepped up in his career. He's been having a lot of solid moments lately. A big contribution to Bayern Munich's 5-0 loss against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he definitely did his part in Euro 2020. Gavranovic absolutely did his part in Euro 2020, scoring the equalizer against France as a substitute. I mean, I obviously was very proud as a Dinamo Zagreb fan. Although he left, I still have the utmost respect for this guy. They are missing Stefanovic though from the squad. Honestly, I don't even know if he's injured or not. He's a pretty solid player, but I think they'll be able to survive without him. But what I'm trying to say with all this is, a lot of these Swiss players just know how to step up in the big moments. And who knows, a Euro 2020 repeat can happen where they lose 3-0 to Italy. Or they can hold off brilliantly for a draw and then score more goals against Bulgaria. Or they can beat Italia and then beat Bulgaria. There's even more options I didn't talk about. But although many people are predicting Italy to win, it's something I wouldn't feel safe about putting my money on. Recently, Switzerland have been rocking with the 4-2-3-1 formation, and I feel like they're going to do it again in this matchup. Probably have Embolo as their starting striker and put on Gavranovic if things don't work out for him. Last time I played Italy, they went with something different, but still, I think this might be the most effective option for them. Italia normally doing a 4-3-3 classic, and it seems to be working in their favor. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen my Matchday 9 prediction video, I said that Italia would win 1-0. I think Switzerland will do a very good job defending. They'll do whatever they can. Italia will probably have more possession. Switzerland might be working for the counterattacks. Who knows, I could be wrong and it could be a 50-50 looking fight. But I think Italia will find the goal at some point and just get that 1-0 win. The nerves will be high for both of these sides, which might affect Italia's finishing, but Switzerland will stay composed in the defense. Yeah, anything's possible here, really. This is an unpredictable one, I think. But that's the fun in it. And a lot of these matchups are unpredictable now, as they all determine who's qualifying at this point. I predict that Italia will get like an earlier mid-second half goal. If I had to pick a goal scorer, I'll go with Insigne. It would be incredible to see Chiro get on the score sheet, as people are giving him some slack for the national team, but I think Insigne will be the man. Guys, let me know your predictions and thoughts for this matchup. It's gonna be a big one. If you enjoyed this video, again, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. If this video does well, I'll do some other matchday previews, such as Serbia versus Portugal, Croatia versus Russia, Sweden versus Spain. There's so many to go from. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for all that. I'll see you all very, very soon. We got an exciting week ahead of us. Lock and watch.